What's up, Weebos? How you doing? Good, man. Doing good. Getting ready for the day. What happened to the music? Hello?
You better watch out. You better watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. You better watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. You better watch out now, yeah, Timber. He said he live it and he lying like Simba. You better watch out now, yeah, Timber. He said he live it and he lying like Simba. You better watch out now, yeah, Timber. He said he live it and he lying like Simba. You better watch out now, yeah, Timber. He said he live it and he lying like Simba. You better watch out, 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 watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, drop it.
What's up, Speedstrone? What's up, Benko? How you guys doing? Incode, why you always gotta ruin the good shit for me, man? Always with the fucking comments. Oh my god.
You better watch out now, yeah, Timber. He said he love it and he lying like Simba. You better watch out now, yeah, Timber. He said he love it and he lying like Simba. You better watch out now, yeah, Timber. He said he love it and he lying like Simba. You better watch out now, yeah, Timber. He said he love it and he lying like Simba. You better watch out, 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 watch out. Watch out, watch out, drop it.
No worries, Speedstrone. We are recording today's stream. It's gonna be a big one. Hence the shit music. All right, welcome everybody to Wednesday and a good time of day to you. I hope you guys are all doing well, making lots and lots of money. Let's get into it. Unk Pow Pow, thank you. Thank you very much for 2 months in a row. Holy shit. Supporting the stream. You actually made it out this time. How are you doing? A couple of disclaimers before we start off. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just a trader trading my own shit. For all the tools I'll be using on the stream, they can be found on the bapigindicator.com website. These guys make the best mathematics-based indicators on TradingView. And they do actually have a bunch of free tools available as well. So do yourself a favor, learn some new concepts, and use math instead of triangles and TA nonsense. We do have a Discord available as well. Come follow us there, a great resource for people trying to spot occurrences and provide information about how the market works. Come follow us there. And I do have a Twitter available as well. I do my best to spot occurrences outside of the stream and generally just shitpost. So come follow me there as well. All right, let's get into the charts. Starting off with some fundamental news. Fundamentals, yes. U.S. Treasury is to reduce nominal auction sizes further over the next 3 months. This generally matters because Treasury T-bills essentially is what they're talking about here. Bonds. T-bills matter because they are prime collateral. And if you want to issue debt as a private bank, which is how most money is created nowadays, you need prime collateral. Reserves that the Fed prints are generally not good enough, and banks won't create debt based on those. So this is pretty significant. Currently, the amount they're reducing by over the next 3 months is 111 billion. It'll be interesting to see how the yields react, as well as things like TLT. So we'll be taking a look at those. Let's do just a quick little overview here of the indices, as we usually do. Take the temperature, see if anything crazy happened around the world. Am I on the weekly here? Yes, let's go to the daily. All right, Australia, not much has changed. Looks like its entropy is moving back up, suggesting this is no longer a favorable environment for Delta traders. Anything too extreme here? No. HVP at 75, QCV still rising. Looks like this occurrence is coming to an end as well. Let's take a look at Germany 30. Anything happened? No. QCV crossed down, not favorable for Delta players here. HVP lower at 32. HVZ looked like it was starting to pick up, but bounced off of the midline there. VRT, the variance ratio test is actually suggesting that this isn't a random walk. So if there were ever... Oh, no, never mind. I'm sorry. I saw it on the minimized view. It is actually a random walk here. So we can expect the market to be efficient. Let's take a look-see at Russia. This market was getting killed like crazy for a while now, obviously with the shit going on with Russia, Ukraine, US. It hasn't been a very good time for the ruble or the Russian indices. Currently, volatility very high. This is pretty extreme. Let's take a look at a higher time frame. See if there's any juice left on the volatility. There actually is, which is the scary part. We could cool up on the volatility for some amount of time. Looks like HVZ has started moving lower already. QCV crossed down, suggesting this big massive move is now over, at least in the immediate term. However, going out to the weekly doesn't look so good. Volatility at 45, QCV crossed up. Not a random walk on the weekly. That's fucking crazy. And entropy still heading down on the weekly. That's not what you want to see. MOEX very, very similar on both the weekly and the daily. Nothing too extreme here to make bets on. Of course, the VRT is suggesting not a random walk on the weekly with possible positive autocorrelation here. So we should expect positive returns to be followed by positive returns and vice versa. Currently, the returns are positive. Let's see the mean for them is negative though. Unfortunate. Big massive mover, yes. All right. How is UK doing? I believe these guys were announcing the end to most of their restrictions for COVID. Nice, well done, UK. Let's hope that persists. I don't know what side of that spectrum you land on, but I'm all for personal choice. HVP at 13, plenty of room to spike. HVZ looks like it's been moving up. And entropy is moving down, suggesting this is once again favorable for Delta traders as long as this persists. The immediate direction is up as long as you're above the due and your momentum is positive. Nice. Good job, UK. China, we're still getting that volatility rolling in. HEP now at 28. Nice way to time your move. This is of course the the daddy of timing. Great tool for actually figuring out when you should be putting money down on a bet and when you shouldn't. We did have an extreme in China. It was printing zeros. Looks like we're starting to pick up now. HVZ is picking up, QCV is picking up, and HVP is picking up as well. Currently, the direction does remain down as you're below the due. Momentum still negative, and entropy is on its way down, making this a favorable environment for Delta traders. Nice. All right, let's take a look at Hang Seng. Not too much has changed since we've last seen this market. Entropy still on its way down. The big moves are still expected to the downside. Possible volatility coming, but 55 is, it could go either way. It could go either way. What is this music, please? All right. Japan, entropy started to move back up. Good for some relief here from this downside. Looks like the immediate move is now over. QCV occurrence coming to an end as well. HVP at 41. All right, let's get into the US stuff because there's a bunch of stuff that I wanted to cover today with the US. We did actually get a new monthly, which I forgot to go over yesterday, and there are significant things happening on very long-term time frames, which is at least in part a reason as to why I let go of my call stay. One of the reasons was that I made pretty damn good money on them, but the other one is that the monthly's starting to look a little bit scary. How did the US indices open up? Oh, they haven't opened yet. 4 minutes. Looks like they're going to open up for today. VRT suggesting that this is not a random walk on the daily. Let's take a look here. Yeah, this is actually quite significant. It does give you some credence to actually make trades because the market is inefficient. Not everything that could be priced in is priced in. So currently, this is suggesting possible positive autocorrelation, which means that positive returns should be expected to be followed by positive returns and vice versa. Entropy is moving back up. QCV occurrence coming to an end off of this big down move, and looks like we are above the due now. The big thing in the S&Ps and the Nasdaqs is going to be the weekly. We are coming up to the weekly close here in a couple of days, and we'll take a look at those shortly. Nasdaq looking very similar. HEP at 83. Nothing too extreme to make bets on here. Looks like Mom has gone positive with expanding R squared, and looks like we are above the due, and this market is getting less favorable for Delta traders if you were short on this move down. All right, let's take a look at the weekly quickly. Actually, let me go to another index. So here is the tough part with the weekly. I know that this tool is pretty damn experimental. However, it's gotten some crazy occurrences on it, and I'm referring to the due. Let me actually take most of the stuff off here for the chart. So the expectation here is if price is above the due, then we should be expecting the big moves to come to the upside, and vice versa. If price is below it, we should be expecting the big moves to come to the downside. However, it does get pretty damn good occurrences for both scalping on the upside as well as taking bounces off the bottom here on the actual due, and vice versa. Obviously, if you're headed down. Currently, we are on it. So not a very good look. If this does get bounced here, it wouldn't be very nice, especially coming into the end of the week. The other thing to be very careful with this week, if you're taking longs right here, right now. Oh, this actually updated. What? This is on weekly? Yes, this is on weekly. Strange. I thought this was a second expected move, but no, it is above the first expected move currently. This is for the S&P 500. You have a 70% chance of closing this week below 45.24. So be aware of that. Does that mean that you're absolutely guaranteed to close it? No, it actually means that 30% of the time you will close above that, and 70% of the time you will close below it. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq here as well. Maybe the Nasdaq was at the second expected move. Yes, the Nasdaq is on the second expected move here, which means that you have a what is it, 95% chance? Yes, 95% chance of closing below 15,217, and you have 3 trading days to find out if that does come to fruition or not. So very, very low amount of time in order to figure out whether you're going to be right on that or not. So that's a little bit worrisome, especially with an up market open here. So today should be quite interesting to see if we do end up going further down, or if we actually settle above the do. Looks like a bit of an up open today though, also on the first expected move for the day as well. The other thing that is especially concerning is where you are on the probabilities on the monthly. And we did just get a new month. I should have reviewed this yesterday. My apologies for not doing that. I was just a little bit shell-shocked yesterday, I think, but we should take a look at it today. Let's go back a little bit, grab the most extreme probability. All right, so I have the upper cone set to 0.3%. That would be like getting 8.38 heads in a row. So very, very unlikely that you get a run like that. If you are betting up here still, especially above the third expected move for February at 51.72, very low probability of that happening. Let's take a look at some of the other tools as well. Looks like, well, this month is still live, but looks like overall Mom has been heading down, and looks like we are about to get our first print. We do have to wait for the month to close in order to count this as settled. This is live, but certainly wouldn't be a good look. Last couple of times, you know, was this the Rona dump? This was February 2020 when we got our first print, although the R-squared, I should mention, was quite a lot higher, meaning that the data fit a lot better. During this time, during the Rona dump, but getting a red print is certainly not a good thing on the monthly. With this being such a high time frame, it will take quite a long time to come to fruition. But betting long here is getting is getting pretty damn nuts. All right. The other thing I wanted to mention is QCV. Looks like the QCV occurrence is coming to an end as well, off of the bottom of the Rona move. So the thing we should be expecting here is actually lower variance as long as this does persist, suggesting that this big massive move to the upside on the monthly has now come to an end as long as this doesn't cross back up. Not very not very nice at all. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin quickly. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. It's just funny too how it coincides with the treasury selling less bonds as well, because if banks can create more money for the stock market to pump and shit, you know, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be a very good time. I understand that the $111 billion reduction is not too significant in the grand scheme of things, but if this is going to persist, certainly we could run into some collateral shortages, and it can bring on all sorts of monetary trouble. How the fuck do you make a trade with all of this information? It's too much, in my opinion. No, the thing that you want to be looking for is some sort of statistical extreme to actually make a bet against. Currently, all we're doing is we're just observing kind of things that are going on in the market. But when it comes to actually taking trades, it's actually quite simple, and you really do need most of this information in order to make a sound decision, especially probability, volatility, and autocorrelation. You very little things, or very little that you can do without those things. Yeah, how do you make trades without them? All right, let's cover Bitcoin quickly. Looks like a down day for Bitcoin. The extreme here is still volatility. I will remain with my opinion that this is likely to expand over the next 30 days, which means that we should see crazier and crazier returns going forward. This is not a directional tool. However, we can use some other tools in order to make directional assumptions. Currently, the big moves are still expected to come to the downside. The trade that I took on the calls was off of the 1% cone. We were just going down way too fast. Let's take a look at that actually. 85 bars back. And we'll actually be going over, who asked that? Sam, welcome. We actually will be going over some things that are probably about to move. So maybe we will be able to catch some things in real time. The trade that I took was over here off of the 1% cone. You can see the last occurrence we got as well off the 1% cone. We ended up going higher off of this point here, going all the way up to about $50,000, but going lower over time. Volatility does need time in order to take place, and I want to be very clear, we are betting on unlikely things here if we are still to bet on the downside. But as far as the rest of the tools go, currently, as long as we are below the due, we are still expected to have the big moves to the downside. Mom is giving you a cross down here right at the due on the CMA. Looks like the R squared is still expanding, and ACDC actually never went positive. As long as that persists, I would remain with the downside call. Am I going short here? Am I buying puts? No, not quite. I might make a volatility play on this. Just because the HVP here is so low, which means buying calls and puts together. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum started off the day strong. We were actually positive on the day a couple of hours ago. Looks like we have taken a bit of a step down. Let's take a look at the daily here. Still within the first expected moves for today. Anything crazy here? No. Volatility is still expanding. QCV occurrence has come to an end. So it looks like this big massive move is over, at least for the time being, and we are actually above the due on Ethereum. So we should be expecting the big moves in price to come to the upside as long as that is the case. Let's take a look at the shorter time frames. Might give us a sense of what might happen today. So for today, and I actually went over a whole lot of assets on FTX in order to gauge some potential opportunities. I wanted to show you guys maybe some trades in real time on the stream, and a lot of things on the shorter time frames shared a very low volatility metric. So we are very likely, especially on the shitcoins, we are pretty likely to move over the next 30, 60, 120 or so hours. For Ethereum, looks like we're getting a brand new occurrence on the QCV on the hourly. This paired with a move down, not very good. Looks like we are going to be getting higher volatility. Now, the other thing we need is autocorrelation, and we don't quite have that yet. Not on VRT, not on the Hearst, and not on the DWT. So probably chop as long as that remains, and actually not on. Oh, looks like Entropy's trying something. Keep an eye on Entropy, as well as Hearst or DWT or VRT, in order to gauge if there is autocorrelation present, because then that would suggest that this is a trending move, which means that negative returns will be likely to be followed by negative returns. Sorry, let this mom load in here. All right, let's take a look at the crypto total as well, and then we'll move on to some actual shit that might move today. Total. So the total volatility is also very low at 15. It's not a statistical extreme, but it's it's got plenty of room to rise if that is the case. The one thing we have been keeping an eye on is the Hearst. I do have mine set to a very long period of 365 days. Usually I think the default is 100. 100 sampling period. They both will be correct, just they'll be correct for the period you are sampling. Looks like this Hearst is about to go into some sort of mean reversion, which means that we should be expecting lower volatility as well as negative returns being followed by positive returns and vice versa. You can see the last time we went into mean reversion, it was very, very short-lived. This was off of the pump up to the all-time high, and then once we began falling, it actually started trending again. So this kind of goes together with you know, the QCV occurrence coming to an end, the Hearst moving back into some sort of mean reversion. This market is getting less favorable for Delta traders. Unlikely that we see a trending move right here, right now. But I do want to be clear, volatility does have room to expand, so we'll keep an eye on that as we go along here. All right. Let's actually take a look at the VIX as well. What is this music, please? Volatility. This is the VIX. VRT is not on a random walk here. Entropy is moving up. I think the more interesting one would be the short-term stuff. If we are expecting price to get would you say rejected? Sure, we'll use the TA term. If you are expecting price to get rejected at the due, or you know, start to move down because it is above the second expected move for the week over the next 2 days, we probably will see the VIX pick up. Currently the HVP of the VIX is pretty low at 30. The more concerning factor here is the HVZ. Can give you a better sense of timing as well. It is very, very tight. Let's actually see the last occurrence that we got like that. Maybe we haven't seen like that on the VIX. Can we look at the daily? Something like this here. Obviously, you shouldn't expect daily results on the hourly, but nevertheless, the principle still applies. Where you had volatility, historical volatility, Z-score, make very little moves in a tighter and tighter range, and then you exploded out of it to the upside on the VIX. So very potentially we will end up seeing that very, very soon, even though HVP is not at any sort of extreme. This is this is getting a little bit scary. So potential for a down move here on the weekly scale, I think has increased. At least, you know, if you look at it in a probabilistic way, 95% chance we do close above that level for the week on the Nasdaq. Where was it? 15,216. All right, I did put together a list as well of the trad stuff. Here, let's start off with the crypto stuff, because that's probably why most of you guys are here anyway. So I put together a list of things with the HVP at extreme on the hourly. So when it comes to, you know, how do you bet on these tools? How can you you know, manage with so much information? The first thing you got to understand is that as far as trading goes, like I take a trade, buy low, sell high, you know, all that shit. There are very few times where it makes sense to take a trade. Although the TA people would have you believe that, you know, every single little tiny move can be traded because they base their trades on if-then statements. And really that adds a very deterministic aspect into the market, because, you know, if the market doesn't follow a random walk, then you would be able to make like, oh, if this happens, then this will happen. But really what you're looking at most of the time is just a randomness, right? And when it comes to randomness, although it might have some probability assigned to it, very few times you will see a statistical extreme that's actually worth placing a bet on. That's why, from our perspective, most of the traders in our group, in our Discord, are more focused on building out a pool of assets that they will hold over a very long period of time, and then on the side of that, spotting occurrences across many assets where it actually does make sense to take a trade. So for example, let's take Phantom. HEP very low, it was printing zeros. Looks like we started to pick up entropy moving down on the hourly. QCV crossed up. The momentum indicators are negative, price below the due. As long as those things persist, probably get a significant change in price to the downside. And this is where we can use the tools together to create some sort of a bias if we want it to be directional. If we didn't want to be directional, there's a variety of options plays that we can take just on the HVP alone, on QCV as well. So hopefully we'll get to witness some moves today, FTM being one of them. These are off of FTX. CLO looks like we've already started. We were at extreme low in volatility as well. Looks like the move is coming into the downside. At least that's the immediate direction here. I would prefer entropy, you know, I shouldn't say instead. If we had Hearst in trend or VRT showing some possible positive autocorrelation, those would be great. But if those aren't present, entropy is perfectly fine. I do have mine set on 95% filter, so it should show us when a significant change in price is taking place. So it looks like a lot of these actually dumped. Holy shit. Also, a couple hours ago, HVP was at 0. And this is what happens as well when, you know, when you want to make a bet on volatility, but you don't have autocorrelation present. Sometimes you will get the start of a move to come up, and then the majority of the move will come to the other direction, or vice versa, or it won't move at all. The range will just get wider over time. So volatility is not a directional tool. That's why when you are making bets on direction, which is what most of the delta traders end up doing, that they're actually making, most of the time they're making two bets. They're making one bet that volatility will come in, and another bet that autocorrelation will be present. And sometimes they'll get one of those right and not the other, and they'll get their stop loss hit, all sorts of crazy shit. Looks like these moves are starting to come into the downside here, so nice. We will be able to witness those. Why did I pick these? These had HVPs being low a long time ago. Maybe on the 4-hour. No, I'm not sure. I shouldn't have left a couple of these in there. It looks like I was going a little bit too fast. Oh yeah, this one was on the 4-hour. Let's take a look here. CRH, Chromia Perp also had a very low volatility on the 1-hour. QCV picking up. Not much in the way of autocorrelation here quite yet. Maybe on the VRT. Looks like it's starting to go on the VRT. So it looks like most of these have chosen down. Nice to see the move starting to come in actually off of the low HEP rating. This tool is extremely powerful, and the best part is that it's fucking free. Very powerful for timing trades. It compares historical volatility to itself in order to give you more context into what is actually low volatility and what isn't. Powerful stuff. K-Shib looks like it's taking a step down. Shiba Perp, and this move is likely just starting. Crazy to see that. Holy. So then the other part is like, okay, you have a bunch of these assets, and the difficult part about you know, especially in the crypto market, is that most of these assets share very high correlations, or instead of correlation, we would use mutual information, which provides you with, you know, how probable is a move in one asset based on a move in another asset. Most of the time, you guys are betting on assets across the entire crypto space, if you're taking lots of trades, a lot of them can be just one big trade, which can cause you to get over leveraged as well. Damn, I really wanted to actually take these on the stream, but looks like we missed most of the first move here. I'm not going to be taking them here. I would like to use the Kelly as well, so we'll keep an eye on this. I don't think the big parts of the moves are over yet, but just where the HVZ is, this is quite extreme here. So I don't want to be taking shorts right here right now. Let's see what's going on with the overall market. And by the way, guys, if there's anything you want me to take a look at, feel free to shout it out in the chat, and I would be more than happy to take a look at it. What else haven't we covered today? We actually haven't see the BJ, god damn it. What else haven't we covered today? We haven't covered rates. So with this news of the reduction in the T-bills, looks like rates are going lower, and we still have trouble in rates. Some of it being between the 20s and the 30s, and some of it being, for example, between the 30s and the 5s. The fact that they've gotten closer and closer together, let me actually see if I can showcase that. So the fact that the 30s and the 5s have gotten closer together over a very long period of time, you know, this is the old boomer recession indicator. This is suggesting some sort of disinflation over a long period of time. Is this likely to happen right now? No. Am I calling for a crash or anything like that? No. But just the fact that they're getting closer together would suggest tightness in the monetary system. When these invert, that's when all the CNBC guys and the boomers, the Peter Schiffs, immediately call for a recession. Most of the time that has worked out for them. In general, it means that there's some sort of hedging going on in the financial system, so, some sort of imbalance between the cost of money 5 years from now versus the cost of money 30 years from now. And this market being one of the largest in the world, it makes sense to pay attention to it. The fact that they're getting closer together gives very little credence to you know, the narrative that we're gonna get runaway inflation or something of the sort. I know the inflation prints have been very high, but they've been fucking with that statistic for so damn long. So not a good look. The news of less bonds being issued is not being taken well, as rates have started to move down. Let's take a look at TLT as well. Agnier, hello. Welcome. I do actually want to see where TLT is as well. Do I have it on here? Yes. Anything we can make bets on in TLT? Not quite on the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly entropy has started to move down, and QCV has started to pick up. As long as this persists, we should expect a significant change in price. But I want to be really clear about entropy. This is not a very significant level of 989. I know the filter does make it seem like it is, but let's take a look at it without the filter, and we'll be able to spot it much easier. Yeah, it's still quite high, still printing reds there. If you are a directional trader, you know, most of the time you want to be trading is when entropy is moving down, when there's less uncertainty in the markets. Currently though, the thing to focus on here is volatility in the rates. Is it? No, it's not even volatility. It's volatility over a long period of time, over the course of weeks, because QCV has turned up. As long as this persists, I would expect more volatility in the rates, and Hearst is trending as well. Can you check out PayPal? Yes, absolutely. Let's take a look at some trad stuff. I do actually have some trades lined up in the traditionals as well. Holy fuck. Yo, PayPal died, bro. Oh my god. All right. So this is going to be probably pretty damn good. Is this on earnings? Yeah. Man, the amount of earnings plays I've missed out on is now incredible. So you got a couple of extremes here. HVP being at 99, HEZ being extremely high outside of the second standard deviation band, QCV moving up, and entropy moving down. The other thing is where you are on the probabilities here. You are below the 1% cone. Let's maybe see if we can get a more extreme probability on this actually. Let's go 73 bars back. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Let's set this back to 1 and let's set this to like a 0.1. No, not quite 0.1. And this is the fantastic thing about using probability instead of support resistance. It can help you manage your expectations across a very long period of time. You know, if you knew that the bet you're taking here by going short right here right now is like betting on getting 8.38 heads in a row, are you likely to do it? No. In fact, I would probably like to take the opposite trade based on volatility, HVP being very, very high. This can persist for an indefinite period of time, but it doesn't have any further room to expand. HVZ gives us a little bit better sense that it is in an extreme right here, right now. Maybe we spend a couple of days down here, but I think overall you will see higher prices in PayPal. I think you'll see higher prices in PayPal. I would like to take a long off of this if I could. And I think a great example of that would probably actually be Netflix. What is a cone? Good question. Man. We need videos explaining all this shit. I know I'm hitting you guys with a lot of information. Please understand that for everything you've gotten used to in quote unquote the way trading is done is based on unsound mathematical principles, and learning the actual you know, the way you can model a market mathematically will take you guys some time. But the fantastic thing is there are great resources available, and I'll actually share those in a second. So the cone is this thing here. It gives you a what would you call it, a probability space. I don't know if that's the correct some videos explaining the videos explaining this are coming. All of the indicators do have fantastic descriptions on TradingView as well if you wanted to read over those. And the beautiful part about mathematics is that they're going to be the same everywhere. So even if you were to Google the probability cone, you would most likely get a sensible answer. All right, so this is the cone. On the inside of the outer cone, you have a 98% chance of staying within there, within this entire space. Here, let me, time to get the drawings out. Within this entire space, you have 90, no, actually more, because I have my bottom cone set. Here, let me reset this. Apologies, guys. Let me explain this in a proper way so that people understand it. So for the outer cone, you have a 98% chance of staying within there. Obviously 98 because you have 1% chance of being above the upper cone and 1% chance of being below the lower cone. So out here and out here. What does this mean? It means that 98% of the time over a long period of time, you will spend on the inside of that cone, and 2% of the time you will spend outside of it. That is literally how probability works. On the inner cone, it's 5%. If you are betting on going lower right here, right now, you are betting on something like 6.64 heads in a row. Now, coins do go for runs. They can go for incredibly long runs, but it's just unlikely. So if we take bets, we want to know what kind of probability are we betting on? How likely is it that we're going to win? And you know, and just to manage expectations as well, like I've said before, you know, are you going to be short right here, right now, if you know that it's that you're betting on getting 8 heads in a row? Probably not. At least I wouldn't be. Nothing special about these numbers either. They are just some confidence level. The probability that you require to take a trade is completely up to you. Let's actually take a look at something like Netflix, which will be a decent example of how a probability cone works in a situation like that. You know, people were going short here. Somebody was selling shares here, and they were betting on, you know, getting more than 6.64 heads in a row. That didn't end up happening. We are now back within that cone, and yeah, so that's generally how you can structure trades. Maybe I shouldn't say it that way. As we go further into these streams, there'll be much more information. I know I'm haphazardly kind of explaining this. I don't really have material prepared for you because this isn't really a learning stream. This is more of a trading these tools stream. But the videos are coming, and there are lots and lots of resources out there. And actually, let me share a resource with you guys. We are not affiliated with these guys, but they have a lot of great videos on the math behind options, and a lot of the concepts that they use there we use as well, because luckily math is universal. This is from the Tasty Trade, completely free. You go to tastytrade.com, you go to their on-demand section, then you go to the Skinny on Options math playlist, and there are fantastic amount of videos here explaining mathematics behind options and markets and the models that can be used in order to model the markets and make bets. And it'll generally give you a good sense of how the market works, why considering it to be a random walk is not only more mathematically sound, but can lead to better expectations of your trades as well as the risk that you're actually taking. So do check those out as well. tastytrade.com. So for PayPal, likely we see something like this. You know, we saw very similar metrics where on this sell-off because of earnings, volatility was getting high. Actually, on PayPal, it is higher. Volatility is still rising here at 100, very, very high. So you don't have any room for volatility to continue to expand. You were outside of some probability. Nice if you took some longs, and probably the more capital efficient thing here would be to actually sell puts. That's probably the most capital efficient thing to do in a case like this, where volatility is very high. You're outside of some sort of probability on the downside. Probably selling puts not only required less money, less capital to put the trade up, but also probably provided more profit. I don't know if anybody here did that. If somebody was selling puts on Netflix, fucking congrats. You probably made some decent chunk of change on that play. So for PayPal, likely very similar play. We can stay outside of here for quite a while, but I do think at some point it does return into the 99% cone, 98% cone, excuse me. This is pretty extreme, both on HEZ, HEP, as well as the probability. Heyo. Did you sell calls? Or did you sell puts? Sorry. Oh shit, big step down for Ethereum, 3.35% down. Good day to let go of my calls. Let's go. Netflix, not PayPal. Well, PayPal is like it's actionable right now. I kind of want to sell puts on PayPal. What's up, Jay? Hard work. 140. We're 139 taken, so I got Fidelity as my broker. Good. That's something you probably have to ask Fidelity about. I don't use them. I don't have any experience with them. I use interactive brokers for my traditionals, use FTX and Deribit for the shit show. How does it use it for stock, etc.? Did you ever mess with GameStop and AMC? No, I didn't. I didn't mess with GameStop and AMC. We were outlining trades on GameStop and AMC back in November because we had an extreme in Jesus Christ. We had an extreme in HVP. So this suggested that, hey, volatility is likely incoming into this market when the HVP was printing zeros. This was extreme. Since then, we've seen that volatility rise over a period of time, and this stock actually depreciated significantly. 60, no way, it's 69. Is that 69? 67% down. That's crazy. I heard you have to transfer elements to computer share, DRS. Not sure what that is referring to. Not sure what that is referring to at all. I'm in AMC. Did you fucking buy AMC? Jesus Christ. Also, HVP very low on AMC at 9.32 here. Probably won't be as much of a juicer, but probably won't get the 69. Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe you will. As far as probabilities go, downside here is getting less and less likely. No, sold 15 puts. Nice. Fucking powerful. How far do you go out on the expiries when you're selling puts like that? I'm assuming you're not doing 45 days. Also GME. GME was very low on both the HVP and the IV rank. This was a beautiful play if you were long volatility. You actually could have made money both ways. HVP also at 0 got a nice little move up, followed by a pretty massive move down. Less than 4 and less than 20, less than 45 depends. Yeah, fuck, that's crazy. Let's take a look at gold. Let's actually cover some of the traditional stuff that I was expecting to have some moves today. I was basing this on the 1 hour. You know, this is going to take... Oh, I didn't sort this list. Yeah, so we are going to see some high volatility stuff. I think some of these were on the QCV actually. Yeah, this isn't going to be as good as the crypto list because those were printing zeros. What were the videos you were recommending for market math? Maybe I can actually post them. Are you on Twitch? Yes. So I'll go over them very quickly here, and then I will post them. All right, let me see. So you go to tastytrade.com, and then you go on demand, and then you go to the skinny on options math. And all the videos here are completely free, and they are with this mathematician guy called Jacob, and he goes over in very, nice bite-sized videos over some of the most important concepts in options math, and it can lead you to have better expectations to have around the market. Let me post this link to the chat here. There we go. And maybe I'll include it on my profile as well. I think I'm out of links to include on the profile. But a lot of the concepts that they talk about, we end up using because math is universal. And we've actually, I'm not a programmer for these tools. The fantastic guys at BA Pig do a great job of, reviewing the math, making sure that they understand it, and making sure that they coded it correctly. Shit goes through a crazy peer review process, so they do focus a lot on getting the math right, making sure they're on the leading edge. I don't think we've seen entropy or mutual information, for example, being talked about even at all. Maybe Taleb talked about it, but yeah, they do some crazy shit. the other way around now. If we make it, they make videos about yeah, like exactly. Good. If our guys make it, the skinny on options math guys make a playlist on it. Like I don't understand why they haven't covered like the variance ratio test, or have they even covered the Hearst? Like Hearst is crazy good. What were the good ones that I saw? Maybe PCAR. No, most of these are going to be QCV occurrences, but the HUP is going to be rather high. For the guys in the chat, if there's anything that you guys want me to take a look at, let me know. I'd be more than happy to cover it. Yeah, not much for stonks. Not much we can bet on in terms of volatility. At least this, I tried to cover the Nasdaq 100. We can go off of the implied volatility rank as well to see if we can spot some more occurrences. Costco, Microsoft, AMD, TQQQ, UDAO, UPro, Amazon. Perfect. Jesus. Okay, that's a big list. Let's go. Let's go. I think I had Costco on my list, actually. So starting off on daily, looks like this is not a random walk here. Hearst is still in trend. Volatility very high, seems to be cooling off. Certainly is the QCV being turned down gives that some credence as well. This is probably a decent one to sell options on. Look at that pop. Yeah, that pop was powerful. Here, let's go to the probabilities. Let's go back 22 bars. Yeah, nice. Well below the 1% cone. You are coming back here into the range of, you know, reasonableness. I don't know what words to use, but as long as price is above the due, momentum is positive. I would expect the big changes in price to come to the upside. The one thing is that you don't have that much room for volatility. Yeah, prior information percentile is pretty damn low. It is pretty. So is HVZ actually. Let's take a. They just had their dividends tomorrow. Let's take a look at a higher time frame. I want to see what this looks like on the weekly. Yeah, weekly volatility also very high, but not too extreme here. Not too extreme. Maybe a decent one to sell options on, actually. Like if I were just looking at this and trying to structure a trade on it, for myself, I would probably want to go maybe 45 days out, grab some range of probabilities. Let's go to 0. And let's go maybe 15 on either side. Go something like 45 days out. But, maybe sell these strikes and then manage them 21 days out. Oh, that's actually right on earnings. Or that's a day after earnings. I try to play like that. I sold 490 puts 9 days to expire. Yeah, that's fucking... That's great. You're rolling it. But are you going to manage them? Are you going to manage them at 50% profit? That's the real question. All right, let's take a look at Microsoft. How is Billy Boy doing? Nice earnings. Bit of upside there. Probably got to some crazy probability as well, actually. Why asking me hard questions, bro? Hey, man. Trade small, trade often, okay? Yeah, nice play off the 1% call. If you sold those puts too, well done. I would probably not want to be selling premium here quite yet, as the HVP still has room to go. 76, weekly at 64. Well, it depends on what kind of trade you want to structure. Microsoft sold 312.5 puts. Yeah, nice. 2 days to expire. Yeah, nice. That's like, hey, even if you're wrong, you're gonna be wrong by 2 days. So how much volatility can really take place in the 2 days? Like that's a decent fucking play. It's a decent play. All right, let's take a look at AMD. Yeah, volatility on daily also getting very high here. Not bad with where the HVZ is. QCV looks like it's about to come to an end. Looks like this one had earnings as well. Nice. I don't know how the IV rank for this stuff is. I'm assuming it's pretty damn high. Weekly still rising though at 53. Plenty of room to go on the weekly. And this is kind of the scary part. This is what I was mentioning on the weeklies with the indices. I'm assuming a lot of this stuff will have a high mutual information between Nasdaq. And volatility still likely to rise. Where you are in probabilities is in unlikely land on the higher time frame, which is the monthly. And you are on the second expected move for the weekly as well. So 2 days to find out, you know, that's a pretty damn high probability trade. Actually, if you wanted to sell calls, well, if I wanted to sell calls, maybe sell the 130s if those have any premium, even the 126s. 2 days to expire. You get 2 days to find out whether we close there. 95% chance we do close below 126. IV rank 51. What else do we have? TQQQ, UDAO, UPRO, Amazon. Have you checked the mutual info of all this stuff, Bali? Or are you just are you just YOLOing, fucking selling puts? This is like the time where yeah, we'll take a look at new tech. This is like the time that you figured out on Evolve FX that you can essentially leverage positions against positions. You remember that shit? That was so good. When your portfolio size just grew and grew and grew, and then like one position would trigger and then they would fall like dominoes. All right, let's take a look at new tech. Bali figures out new strategy. Goes YOLO. Oh my god. New tech business services daily, yes. HVZ pretty crazy on the low end there, so likely volatility over the next 30 days. HVP being very low at 8.22 as well. Not much in the way of autocorrelation, maybe with a lag of 1. We don't know if that's statistically significant. Probably if volatility does come in, if it's above the due, likely we will see the big moves to the upside. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly's still not looking too hot. Hearst is in trend over a very long period of time. Entropy moving down. Everyone loves Dunk's mystery. No, man, we love how you go YOLO, man. It's reassuring to know that even the math guys suffer from our human limitations like the rest of us. It's very reassuring. Oh man. Likely spike on the HVZ as well on the weekly can take a long time to develop though. Damn, Ethereum down 4%. Crazy. Well, shit. If if we settle below the dude, then it'll be a great day to have sold my calls. Nice. another play made. No worries, real Smiths. This stream is being recorded, so you can catch the rerun. Hence the shit music. What else do we want to look at? Do we want to look at gold? Yeah, not much here. Probably volatility does continue to pick up in gold though. Let's see how our green list did. These were the expected movers for today, going off of the hourly. We closed the first hour down on a lot of these, except for algo. It looks like that volatility is starting to roll in. Most likely does come into the downside here. Powerful HVP. Oh no, algo's up on the day, excuse me. Took a pretty big dip too. Alright, so I'm gonna do a little bit of a recap before I let you guys go here, unless there's something else you want me to take a look at. Too bad we didn't get to structure this trade on the stream. We missed it by a couple of hours, but hey, you can't catch them all. I will hopefully prepare some for the next stream as well. Take a little bit of a look over the markets. Let's do a quick little recap. The big things to watch here, especially with this month, is where we will close in relation to the due. Let me grab a longer run index. Upside to new all-time highs, although it is possible. The bets on it are kind of getting more and more unreasonable. You are on the most extreme cone, I think. Here, let me set this. You know, you are betting on getting 8.38 hits in a row, which is just getting more and more unlikely. And coupled with the QCV occurrence coming to an end, volatility still rising, and HVZ being very low, likely we do see volatility come in. This is over the course of a very, very long time. You know, 12 of these candles is a year, so do keep that in mind. We have been shouting out volatility on the weekly though for quite a while now. We are now at 55, still rising, and we are now below the due this week. For the close of it, keep an eye on the due that is currently at 45.42. If we close below there, well, actually we haven't closed above it, so the big moves are still expected to the downside here, and we are on the second expected move for the weekly, so very unlikely that we close the week any higher than this. 95% chance we close actually lower, below 15 11,216 for the Nasdaq. So very, very important levels to keep an eye on. For Bitcoin, big changes in price are still expected to the downside. ACDC never went positive. Mom gave you a cross down, but Hearst is going into mean reversion, and the biggest conviction I have is that we do end up seeing volatility over the course of the next 120 days. So it should get pretty exciting pretty damn fast. It's just a rule of thumb that I use for the 120 days. There's no kind of statistical backing to that, but gives me a sense to manage my own expectations. Could come in tomorrow, could be at 100 tomorrow. Would be crazy, but shit happens. And VIX is up 1.28%. There will be another stream at the market close for Random Walk with BA Pig. Do check him out. He goes over all of the tools from the perspective of a person starting out. He goes through the Tasty Trade videos, so very, very valuable resource. Maybe one of the mods can... Oh no, I have the link here. He'll be streaming at market close, going over all of the tools there, so do check him out as well. I'll let you guys go. I'll be back on tomorrow at around the same time. Hopefully line up some more trades that we can actually take in real time as well. And I'll keep you guys posted on Twitter if I end up making any changes to my account. Currently, I don't have any positions on. I'm spot long Ethereum, if you can call it that. We had a fantastic time playing this rise in volatility. This was huge. I essentially went delta neutral, made a whole lot of money on the puts, let those go at the 1%. That was, you know, as far as plays go, you can't ask for anything better than that. Right now, it's, I think, time to set up the next big trade, and that might take some time. I don't want to rush it because, you know, very likely to not make very good decisions after making a significant amount of profit. All right, have a awesome Wednesday, and I hope you guys make lots and lots of money. Take care, guys.